Yo guys, welcome back to another Impact Newsroom. I am your host, Stu, with my co-host, as always, Mr. Serk. Say hello, Serk.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
So we want to apologize really quick for taking so long to put out another Impact Newsroom podcast. Unfortunately, we have recorded a couple in the past weeks, but we've run into technical difficulties, and unfortunately, the topics that we're talking about are normally time sensitive and not relevant after a few days, so we need time to make new scripts, and after that, here we are. So let's get right into our first topic of the day. We have 5 normal gaming topics, as we usually do, and only one IRL topic today, but the IRL topic is pretty interesting, so we'll get to that one later on. But let's start it off. Call of Duty World War II London Docks map was revealed. I haven't seen it, but you can see some screenshots from it right here and read the entire article if you'd like to. We'll have the link to every one of these articles down below. But World War II has been looking pretty good so far. I think it's actually going to be one of those games that brings Call of Duty back kind of into the mainstream, making it bigger for streamers, bigger for competitive scenes, especially. As long as the jetpacks stay out of Call of Duty, I think Call of Duty can stay relevant in the gaming community. The jetpack thing kind of throws off a lot of the competitiveness for me, and I think for a lot of people it really does. It takes a lot of the map control out of the game, which is what Call of Duty was really good for. Was, you know, being able to control the map and trap people in their spawns. I know spawn trapping is kind of a shitty thing to do, but, you know, it's pretty much the bread and butter of playing Call of Duty. That's how you win games most of the time. So it's going to be interesting to see how this map plays out differently from the other one. The other map looked good. I haven't played it either. I don't have my PlayStation yet. But these maps definitely look a lot better than they have in previous titles, and with with Sledgehammer designing the maps, they normally do a fairly good job. It's not just a 3-lane kind of thing like Treyarch normally does. Sledgehammer normally likes to put in a lot of flanking routes in there. Not too many, though, like Infinity Ward does. It's a good balance of maps. What do you think, Serk?
Honestly, from just playing the beta, the maps so far are amazing. I'm really excited to see how the competitive is going to play out with it being back to boots on the ground. And like you said, with jetpacks, like when the jetpacks were introduced, that's when the game became more, like you said, like kill based, and there was really no like sense of map control whatsoever. And that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward in World War II, is to see how people play out the different maps and learn all the different spawn locations and play it out from there.
Yeah, of course. I definitely think the competitive side of this game is going to be a lot better. It just seems like games tend to flow better whenever they're on the ground and you can actually predict movements. That was my biggest problem with the previous titles where you could jump around and jetpack, was actually being able to predict enemy movements, because they can literally, in Advanced Warfare, like, you could be controlling a part of the map, but in, less than 3 seconds, you could get from one side of the map to the other. So people were spawning and then just boosting and getting behind you. There was no map control. You had to always be moving in kind of a circular pattern and just kind of clearing out anybody that came in your way and hope nobody was chasing you. So I'm excited for Call of Duty World War II, and the new map looks beautiful. I mean, you can see from the screenshot here, it definitely looks beautiful. It has more of the Treyarch style, kind of more cartoony look than Infinity Ward normally goes for, but nevertheless, it still looks great. And that first person, I would assume that's what is it? The one where they throw it into the
Uplink, but
Uplink,
it's actually
there you go.
called Gridiron in this one apparently, and I'm kind of looking forward to see what it is, because being the boost jump games where they integrated Uplink into it,
well, the Uplink is actually on the ground now.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's gonna be the exact same as Uplink or if it's gonna be a completely different game mode. Like, all we have right now to go on is a picture, right?
Well, I think it's pretty. I think they actually released it in the beta a little bit. And I think, I think so, because I've seen some gameplay on it. And the goal is actually like the uplink goal. Instead of being hovering in the sky, it's actually in the ground, so you can still run into it, or you can throw it. Which it's probably going to be a lot easier to make throwing shots now, since you don't have to aim it for height as well. You can literally just hit the ground and let it roll.
Hit the ground, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to our second topic of the day. Fortnite has passed over 10 million players already. It's been out for like a week, and it's already passed 10 million players. Like,
that's ridiculous.
I mean, comparatively to like a big AAA title release, that's not that many. Like, what did Black Ops 2 sell? Like, Black Ops 2 sold like 100 million, didn't they? Or was it 60?
Yeah,
it was like 60 million or something like that.
It was in between that.
It was a ridiculous amount.
It was around 60 million, something like that.
And then Battlegrounds always has 80,000 players online at any given time.
Oh, yeah.
Or 80,000 people watching. Maybe not 80,000 playing at once. But Fortnite has definitely made an impact, no pun intended. It's definitely made an impact in not only the gaming world, but also in the streaming world. It's started to take players from Battlegrounds and H1Z1, and they've started to kind of move over to that game. In my opinion, though, it's more of a casual game and not so much a competitive game at this point. I say that, and then I go watch guys like Stormin play it, and I'm like, man, I can actually see where there's a skill gap here with the more along the lines of the building than there is the aim. The aim in this game is it's pretty random unless you have a sniper or a scoped assault rifle, which is another reason I think the competitive side of this game needs to be worked on. There's a lot of randomness, kind of like when Bloom was added into H1Z1. There's a lot of randomness where the bullets go, unless you have one of the top tier weapons, which can be really, really annoying because these weapons do come in crates. I believe they brought a supply crate system into the game, but
supply crates into the game.
But a lot of these guns, you just have to get lucky and find, and a lot of the times you won't be able to. For the most part, you can be geared up well enough to fight somebody, but if you get into a long range fight with somebody who has, a scoped assault rifle or a bolt action sniper, I mean, you're kind of just you kind of got to run away or like build closer to them or something. But there's no way you can take that fight from that far. But so far, I am enjoying Fortnite. How do you feel about Fortnite so far? How does it stack up against games like H1Z1 and Battlegrounds?
When I want to play a battle royale game more competitively, I'll stick to PUBG and Fortnite. But if I want to, when I want to go and play like the battle royale style game, just with my friends to go dick around, Fortnite is definitely the game. It's super fun. I love the whole building aspect of it. I thought that was really cool to introduce into a battle royale game.
Definitely unique.
I agree with you. I don't really see, I can see the huge skill gap, but I don't think I could really see some sort of marketing off of a competitive with this game.
But do you think there's actually going to be a competitive scene for it? Or do you think it's going to have to work its way into it?
I can definitely see them trying, but it's one of those ones that I think for me it's going to take a bit before it actually becomes big in the competitive scene. Because you got to think, games like H1 and PUBG have been around for a bit, and they're now just starting to get into it.
I think one of the big advantages that Fortnite has, though, is it is the third big battle royale game that we've seen get released.
That is true.
And it's pretty much the only one that seems complete upon release. H1Z1's been broken for 3 years. Battlegrounds is more polished than H1 is, but it still has some pretty game-breaking, issues with it.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big advantage that Fortnite has. They're starting off way ahead of where other people did. They have a strong start, even if people aren't, liking the game as much as H1 or Battlegrounds. They're starting off way better than those companies did.
Yeah, exactly, and I completely 100% agree with you. I just feel, if they make these just tiny adjustments to it, this game will be perfect.
I think tightening up the bloom is a big one that needs to be fixed if they want to make it competitive, for sure. and then maybe changing up the way weapon tiering works. Or maybe if they change the bloom, weapon tiering won't be such a big deficit of the game. Like you can have a weapon, you know, maybe if you tighten up the bloom, you can make it to where, you know, these higher tier weapons, you know, have a faster fire rate or have a larger magazine. I think the damage thing can get a little edgy, but you know, I think they're off to a good start, and they can definitely start to make some gains in the competitive world as long as they keep up, you know, keep updating and keep their following there. I think they can start to make some big strides. Let's move on to our next topic. Ghost Recon Wildlands update has added PvP. Releases full patch notes. Wildlands is a game I actually was really interested in, but never got the chance to play because I'm a poor college student with no money. But it looks absolutely beautiful. It kind of looks like to me it looks like a Battlefield type game, but you know, with a lot more angles and a lot more strategy and that kind of thing. And I can't even imagine how nice a PvP version of that would be. You sound like you had some opinions on that.
Yeah, I'm actually super stoked for the PvP in this because the game itself is just amazing. Like I've never really had a game like this that I bought, I picked up, I played, and never had a problem with it. Like, yeah, there were, in the beginning of the game, there were minor glitches. Some things didn't work out, but that happens with every typical game that comes out. But Ghost Recon is perfect all the way through. The hit reg in the game is amazing. The storyline is iconic. The gameplay is just super fun because you can pick it up and you can invite 3 of your friends and you can squad up and go play and do missions and do whatever you want to do for hours. Like, it's one of those games that you can pick up and play for hours and get completely lost in transition playing it because it's just that good.
Is it more? It's more of an open world, isn't it? Or is it actually a storyline that you have to follow?
It's open world, but there is a story to follow.
Kind of like a GTA.
Yeah, but you can play the story at different points. You know what I mean? You don't have to play the specific missions in order. You can do specific missions at different times, kill different bosses at different times. Because basically the whole point of the game is you're just going around and killing all the heads of the cartel until you get to the honcho boss, and then you kill him.
Wow, just spoil the game for everybody. Spoiler alert!
It's been out.
You kill the head honcho. All right. So, Ghost Recon Wildlands adding PvP. Sounds interesting. Looks amazing. Go check it out. Let us know how you feel about it in the comment section down below. On to our next topic. Assassin's Creed Origins has loot boxes. Gotta love them loot boxes. Those supply drops. Those, I love cosmetic. How do you feel about this, Serk? I'm going to let you start this one off.
This one actually gets me really happy because I've been a huge Assassin's Creed fan since the day they came out. I've loved every single game that they've done, even the little off-series ones for your phone and I think it was the DS that they had one out for. The fact that they're adding loot boxes in, I like that they're transitioning into like the different cosmetic styles and game that games have, and loot boxes just I feel it's a good idea for Assassin's Creed because Assassin's Creed with your character, a lot of them you would have to go around and hunt certain animals and do certain objectives and certain missions to get, you know, all these rare items and rare gear. But now, like with the loot boxes inquired, you can get customizable stuff for your character just from the loot boxes, and I think that is amazing because Assassin's Creed has never done that before. They've never really had any sort of looting kind of cash in the game. It was more or less like do missions and go do this and do this for this specific stuff. So the fact that they're adding loot boxes in, I'm really excited to see how the game's going to turn out.
See, I think this is one of the things that we disagree on. I'm not a fan of loot boxes. I like the earning cosmetics through gameplay and actually earning them instead of getting them randomly, you know, through drops and stuff. Like back in, I know this is like the 3rd Call of Duty reference I've made so far, but back in Modern Warfare 2, when you had to get 250 headshots to get fall camo, that was sick.
True.
And everybody loved it. And now, in Call of Duty, to get the best camos, you got to buy a shitload of crates and hope it's in there somewhere. It's probably not going to be. You're probably never going to get the skin you want. You're probably never going to get the combo you want, especially on games that don't have a selling market for these things. Like, there's games that you can't trade these skins to. Like, Destiny was one of those games that everybody wanted trading to come into, like with weapons and stuff. And Call of Duty, you can't trade any of the camos you get. You just keep them, or you scrap them for more points to get more loot crates. Ugh. But you can't earn some of these things, and that's so frustrating. Especially one of the things for me that I always wanted in Advanced Warfare was the Insanity, the H1, I forgot what it was, H3A1 or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Insanity. That was the only gun I wanted since the game released. I played it. You know how many hours I put in that game?
Probably a lot.
I got to Master Prestige, okay? And then when they added the extra Prestiges in, I got to like 14th Prestige. Never got it.
That sucks.
Never got it.
That sucks.
There was like 4 guns in that game that I wanted. Never got. I put, probably over, I don't know, over 1,000. Probably over 1,000, to be honest. 1,000 hours in that game. Never got it. It's so upsetting. You have no idea. So that's why I think that these loot crates are a bad idea. Unless there's a trading market where you can buy the skins like CS:GO, Battlegrounds, H1Z1, other games that do that.
Well,
I think it's okay at that point, but when you literally have no other way of getting them except getting lucky in a crate, that's where I start to have an issue.
Yeah, and it is Assassin's Creed's first transition into something like this, so I'm just excited to see how it plays out. Yeah, I'll probably hate it, but
it'll be interesting as long as they do it right.
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think
As long as
there's going to
right.
be an issue. All right, on to our next subject. Call of Duty World War II Zombies loot crate details have been leaked. You can check this out down below. Zombies has loot crates now. And you can look at this down below as we go through it. But I feel like loot crates are kind of taking over everything now, huh? Aren't they? Interesting.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like money is ruling games.
Money's the root of all evil.
So are these skins only going to be for zombies? Is that what this is?
I'm almost, from what I've read, I'm almost 100% positive it's only for your weapons in zombies.
Okay, so you can get perks from these loot crates too.
Yes.
Okay. So is it going to be stuff so is this like a loot crate that drops in game, or is it something that drops like outside of the game that you can use, like opening a crate and then you take it into the game like a gumball or something?
I think that's the approach that they're going with. From what I've read, it doesn't seem like they would put loot crates inside of the game. I think that would be kind of pointless in a sense.
Here we go, right here. One of the major discoveries from the beta's code is that it has its own microtransactions which can unlock consumables. So I would assume that it's like the gumballs. You can carry up to 2 consumables at a time. So these crates are going to give you consumables that you can carry into the games. That'll be interesting. It's almost exactly like the gumballs, and I like the gumball idea.
The gumball idea was really cool. I thought that was really cool.
You want to know something that was really, really funny? I found a way to get like 3 perkaholics with 1 perkaholic.
What?
Yeah, so like you would use 1 perkaholic, and then you would also have the gumball that self-revived you, and you kept all of your perks as long as you got a kill while you were down. So you had the perkaholic, and then you go down with it, and then you get a kill while you're getting revived, and then you get your perkaholic back, but that one gumball that revives you 3 times, and you keep all your perks each time. So you would essentially get 4 perkaholics from 1 perkaholic. But you had to make sure you got that next gumball from there. And then after that, like if you died after that last time and you really wanted to like save your perkaholic before before the game ended but on its own, all you had to do was pause it and join a friend's game that was already in a lobby, and you would get all of your gumballs back. And as long as you joined a friend's lobby, it would save at the round you were at. And it would go on your leaderboard and everything. So little cheatsy details for y'all that are still playing Black Ops 3 Zombies. Anyway, I actually do like this idea because the gumballs were actually pretty fun. It'll be interesting to see what zombies do with it. All right, so on to our final topic, my favorite of the day, and our only IRL for the day. Eminem has dissed Donald Trump in his live BET freestyle. We have the lyrics up for you on screen right now. These are somewhat offensive if you are orange and balding and the president of the United States. So I would recommend not reading them if you're him. But for those of you that like rap, and those of you that enjoy freestyles, and those of you that enjoy bashing President Trump, here you go. You can read these right here. I really don't lean either way on politics, but I feel like there's nothing wrong with talking about politics. I feel like people kind of shy away from it. People shy away from talking about things like religion and politics and taste in music, but like, why? Why do we do that? Like, these are important things. I know, like, people debate like, oh, politics isn't important, religion's not important, but nobody argues that music isn't important. Music is a big part of everybody's life, just in different ways. Politics, love it or hate it, the world kind of needs politics to keep, civilizations together. Without that, you just kind of have anarchy. And religion, believe religion or not, there's always a purpose for it. Whether you believe it or not, the people that believe it, believe that they're doing right in their own lives. And if you don't believe it, then you believe that you're doing right in your own way. And there's no reason to like bash people for it either way. But I feel like it's okay to talk about these things. So we're going to talk about how Eminem dissed Donald Trump. And I love Eminem, and I thought this was really impressive, since it was a freestyle. And he kind of went in. He's had a lot of disses in his past. This was one of those ones that you could actually tell that he really does hate this person. And a lot of his other disses that he's done in his career, it was kind of just like he was doing it just to do it, just for shits and giggles, or maybe it was like an ex-girlfriend, like Mariah Carey. That was a pretty serious one. But this one, you can actually hear all of the hate, especially with this last line right here. But we fucking hate Trump. Like, he literally screams that at the camera. So you can really feel the hatred in his voice here. What do you think about his freestyle, Serk?
Oh, I loved it. Every aspect about it. When I seen it drop on Twitter, because I didn't watch the BET Awards, I seen it on Twitter after it had happened, and my jaw was dropped the whole time, because like you said, you can just feel his hate towards Trump. And like, if you watch the video, that is a totally different M than we've seen ever when it comes to talking about somebody that he hates. Like, yeah, like you said, the Mariah thing was serious. His beef with Nick Cannon, all his previous beefs, he was never this vocal and just straight to the point.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Like, he ripped Trump a new one, and it was amazing.
I feel like what's really impressive about what he did was, it not only was it a freestyle, but he actually put you know, substance in this freestyle. Like, he wasn't just dissing it. Like, he put relative stuff in there. Like, he talks about nuclear holocaust. That's one of those things that could happen between, you know, North Korea and us, or maybe us and Russia. And he ended up putting the wall in there. If I can find it, he put the wall in there somewhere. The NFL, Puerto Rico, gun reform for Nevada, the Packers, because he went off on them for the national anthem, Hillary, the KKK, Iraq. Dude, like, this entire
Las
thing
Vegas.
is just, yeah, well, I said that with Nevada.
Oh,
But
yeah.
this entire thing is just packed full of stuff that's relevant and rhyming. Colin Kaepernick, right there. I've just passed it. Colin, somewhere. There he is. Yeah. It's just packed full of relevant stuff, and it's crazy. Like, love it or hate it, it's impressive nonetheless. Like, this is one of those things that people talk about. Eminem is so just amazing because off the top of his dome, this is more impressive than a lot of rappers could do if they sat at home and tried to write this for like a week straight. This is more impressive than most of these guys could do.
And you also got to think too, man. Like, that's M for you. Like, this is a guy who's been in the game for 30 plus years and still killing it to this day.
Yeah, definitely. And but a lot of the new guys that are listening to new Eminem style are kind of starting to, you know, hate on it because it's different. He's run out of stuff to rap about at this point. So
Pretty much.
he's literally just showing off how well he can manipulate the English language. Like, he even has orange in this, and I think he rhymed it with like Fantastic Four or something. He's rhymed orange with like syringe and a bunch of other shit that's a lot better. But at this point, he's just showing off. So let us know.
This is a guy that didn't go to college or university too.
He dropped out of high school in like 9th grade.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
that's what impresses me the most.
It's hard work, dude. I mean,
It is.
Anybody can get to this point. Maybe not anybody to this point, but you can work to get just about anywhere you want to if you put enough dedication into it. But let us know what you think about Eminem's freestyle at Donald Trump in the comments section down below, and let us know what you think about any of the topics we touched on today in today's episode of Impact Newsroom. Come back and catch us next time. I have been your host, Stu, and this has been Serk, and we will catch you next time. Peace.